Oh, my beautiful family, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Dr. Mabel. Welcome to my kitchen. I hope you're doing great and keeping safe. Okay, if it's your first time here, you're very welcome. Please click the red subscribe button to be part of our family, and you get to know every time I upload a new video. Alright, in today's video we'll be making some dinner rolls, some bread rolls. This is a special recipe with some coconuts. Okay, I love having this bread roll with coconuts. It makes a lot of difference. It takes it to another level, and it's very simple, actually very simple recipe. Okay, so let's get started. Let's just call it Mabel's coconutty dinner rolls. How about that? Right, so we need some flour, obviously. We'll be using 2.5 cups of self-raising flour. You can use plain flour as well, but I'll be using self-raising flour. 2.5 cups. Okay, this is going to make a lot of dinner rolls. I want it to last throughout the weekend. Then half cup of sugar. You can add more sugar to your taste. I just love to use less sugar. Then we'll be using half teaspoon of salt. Yeah, so I just try to mix my dry ingredients together and also mix the wet ingredients together. So I'll be using powdered milk. I don't have liquid evaporated milk, but this is also fine. So I'm just going to mix it with some warm water, and that will be ready to use. Also, we need eggs, 2 eggs at room temperature. So if it's in the fridge, just take it out, set it aside for some time, let it be at room temperature, and that will give you a better result. Okay, so mix the eggs together. I'm also going to just add the milk and also mix it with the eggs. So it's better to mix your wet ingredients together. Yeah, so I'm going to set aside a little bit of the eggs. This is for brushing the bread later. You will see at the end of the video. All right, so mix the milk with the eggs and just mix it properly. Then I'll be using 2 flavors. So I'll be using some coconut flavor, because this is like coconut dinner rolls. Also, I'll be using a little bit of vanilla flavor. So coconut and vanilla, use any flavor of your choice really, but these two goes well together. Now that is done, I've got some desiccated coconut here, so I'll be using some of this coconut. This is the special ingredient in this recipe. And we also need some yeast, but you want to make sure your yeast is alive. Okay, and the proof is just mix it with some sugar with warm water and set it aside. So your yeast is going to grow, there will be some growth, and then you'll be sure your yeast is active and is ready to use. So I'm just going to set it aside, put it in my microwave or any warm place, put it there for about 5 to 10 minutes, and then look at that. That's the result. So this is proof that my yeast is alive and is going to work perfectly for my bread or any other thing you're using really. If you're sure of your yeast, you don't need to prove it, but just to be very sure, I like to prove my yeast. Now I've added some vegetable oil. You can use melted butter. I love to use olive oil, so I've added some olive oil, just a little bit. All the measurements will be in the description. Okay, full measurement in the description box. Now it's time to mix the wet and the dry ingredients. So I've added some vegetable oil. Now I'm putting in the wet ingredients. First is the yeast. I've just poured in the yeast, and now I'll be putting in the egg and the milk mixture gradually. So we want to achieve a very nice dough, so just put it in slowly, gradually, and mix it well together. I'm still going to use my hands because with this spatula you can't really feel the texture of your dough. There's some things you can only feel with your hands really. So I'm just doing this mixing with the spatula first, then I'll use my hands to mix it properly. All right. To clarify, when I mentioned to put the yeast in the microwave, I didn't mean to turn on the microwave. I'm just trying to say put it in a warm place. Even if you don't put it in a warm place, once you mix it with warm water, it's still going to prove. Okay, yeah, just to clarify that. So this measurement is going to give us about 10 dinner rolls. We're going to find out. It should give us about 10 medium dinner rolls. That was the doorbell, sorry. Looks like we have some delivery. Okay, so just knead this till it's smooth. This took me about 5-10 minutes. Just knead it. You can put it on the work surface to knead it properly, but the bowl is large enough, so I'm good. Knead this till it's smooth. Then I'm going to set it aside in a warm place for about 30 minutes. Now the whole process of this dinner roll took me about an hour. You don't need to prove it for too long. The measurement, the ingredients, it's perfect. You don't need to just prove it for too long. Yeah, so knead. Is that how to say knead though? That's KNEAD, knead. Right, so my husband is always correcting my English every time I'm making a video. After all, it's not our first language. Anyway, we try. Okay, so I'm just going to set it aside in a warm place for 30 minutes for it to rise. Okay, while that is rising, I'm going to line my baking tray, or my baking dish, sorry, or my baking pan with some butter. You can use some vegetable oil as well, so the bread will come off easily, so it wouldn't stick to the pan. Okay, I'm just lining that with some butter. You can also use vegetable oil. So with the measurements that I've used, I know the baking dish is not going to take all the dough, so that's why I'm just lining this baking pan in case I have some extra left. So this is it. After 30 minutes, it's raising a little bit. We've been able to form some gluten, so that's good. Now you can knead it a little bit as well for about 5 minutes again, but really this recipe doesn't need a lot of kneading. So now I'm going to divide into the desired sizes and shapes. So for medium bread rolls, you just want to form some round shapes, small round shapes. Okay, and I figured my baking dish would take about 9. We're just going to see now. 9, so I'm going to divide that into 9. If it's too big, then we're sure going to have some extra for the baking pan. Just you need to do this on your work surface. Put some flour for it not to stick, and then start dividing into desired sizes or shapes. If you have a weighing scale, kitchen scale, then you can use kitchen scale, just so they have the same weight and the sizes will be equal. But guys, I just use my eyes, my intuition to feel the weight and then the size, and just try to make it as equal as possible. Right, so it's time to roll it out. That's the size we're going for. Try to form some round shapes with your hands. Yeah, and try not to, when you're arranging, you don't want them to be too close together, because I'm still going to leave this to rise for a few minutes. And even when you bake, the bread is most likely going to double in size, so it's always good to leave some space in between the dough when you arrange it on the tray, just like that. Yeah, this is looking good already. I've gotten 6. Let's see how many more we get. Okay, so that's 9 on my baking dish, and we've got some dough left. Although this baking pan is too big for this dough, the dough is not a lot, but that's the size I have. So I'm just going to put it in the baking pan. Now you want to brush with the egg wash. Remember, I took out some eggs in the beginning. This is it. So I'm going to use it to brush the surfaces of the dough, and it's just going to give you a perfect brown crust at the end. So this is for the crust to be beautifully brown and perfect texture. Okay, not too much, just brush it lightly with the egg wash, and then I'll set it aside again to rise for another maybe 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes, and then we're going to bake at 140 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Now, if you don't have a lot of time for it to rise again, another trick is to just pop it in the oven, but your oven is going to be on low, so you can put it on 100, on 80 degrees. So more like you're just allowing it to rise in the oven, then you turn on the heat after some time. So now I'm going to put this on 20 minutes, and voila, exactly 20 minutes, guys. It took exactly 20 minutes. This is 20 minutes after, and your bread rolls ready. Now I'm going to brush this with some butter. You can also brush it with vegetable oil. You don't want the crust to be dry, so this is for your crust to remain perfect texture and for it to be soft. Okay, this step is really important, and it's going to just keep your bread perfect for the next few days. So this bread rolls it should last for the weekend. I doubt it, because I know I'm going to have one or two right away. The kitchen smells amazing. I'm sure the neighbors are wondering who is baking. Yeah, this is perfect, guys. Look at that. So I got 9 perfect rolls and some extra. Look at that, guys. This is just perfect dinner rolls. You can enjoy this with jam, you can enjoy this with some curry, you can enjoy this with stew, or just by itself with a cup of tea or a lovely drink. Thank you so much for watching, guys. This is the perfect coconutty dinner rolls, Mabel dinner rolls. Please like, share this video, leave a comment for me. Thank you for your support. I really appreciate it. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.